Hi students, now in this video lecture we will start metallurgy of aluminium. Right, metallurgy, we know metallurgy is the extraction of metals from their ores. And what are ores? Ores are minerals, right, from which metals are extracted easily, right, cheaply and easily, right. So for aluminium, the ore is bauxite, and there are other ores of aluminium as well, which are bauxite, corundum and cryolite. So here ores of aluminium, ores are bauxite, right, formula is Al2O3.2H2O, which is hydrated ferric oxide. Then you have cryolite, which is Na3AlF6. You have corundum. Corundum is anhydrous aluminium oxide. The difference between bauxite and corundum is mainly because of this water molecule. Bauxite is hydrated aluminium oxide, whereas corundum is anhydrous aluminium oxide. So the main ore of aluminium that we would be using to extract the metal aluminium, so main ore would be bauxite, from which we will do electrolysis, or from which we will do metallurgy of aluminium. So main ore is bauxite, right. We'll remember the formula, which is Al2O3.2H2O, right. Now this bauxite contains other impurities of titanium oxide, ferric oxide and sand, right. So we need to remove those impurities and other small amount of impurities that are there in this ore bauxite, right. So it contains impurities. Impurities are sand, ferric oxide and titanium oxide. Titanium oxide, right. So what we will do is we will grind this ore. We will grind this ore, that is we will break this ore into smaller pieces. Then we will heat it. When we will heat it, all the volatile impurities will get removed, right. So what we will do is we will heat this ore. Heating will remove volatile impurities, right. Then we will follow further purification process, that is concentrate. What we are doing, this is we are doing concentration of ore or purification of ore, that is removing impurities from the ore is concentration or purification of ore. So concentration of purification of ore is done by Beer's process. We call it a Beer's process. Beer's process, right. So what we will be doing in Beer's process, now we have ore which is free of volatile impurities and it is grinded, that is it is broken into smaller pieces. Now this ore, which is bauxite, right, this contains 60% of alumina, right, and we need to remove alumina. We need to extract or separate alumina from bauxite, right, so that we can further purify it to get pure alumina. So the main idea of Beer's process is to obtain alumina from bauxite. What we will do is we'll separate bauxite, separate alumina, Al2O3 from bauxite, right. So now let's see how we will further remove it, because this main ore, this contains 60% of Al2O3 ore, right. So let's see how we will remove this 60% of alumina from bauxite. We know that alumina is soluble in sodium hydroxide solution, right. So if we take this ore, right, and dissolve it in sodium hydroxide, all the alumina, this 60%, because this is what we need as a result of Beer's process. This we need to remove this alumina from aluminium this hydrated aluminium oxide, which is bauxite, because this contains other impurities as well. What we will do is, since alumina is soluble in sodium hydroxide, we will dissolve or we will add sodium hydroxide to this ore. Right? When we will add sodium hydroxide solution to this ore, sodium hydroxide will dissolve this part, this alumina, right, from this ore, right, and dissolve this aluminium oxide in the form of sodium meta-aluminate, right, which we can filtrate, which we can filter, and on filter the filtrate will contain dissolved alumina in the form of sodium meta-aluminate, right. So separate, the main aim is separate alumina from bauxite, and how we will do it? By adding bauxite to sodium hydroxide solution, right. So when we will add bauxite to sodium hydroxide solution, this alumina which is present in this ore will dissolve in sodium hydroxide to form NaAlO2, right, plus water. Now this is alumina, right, in dissolved form, right. So we need to separate alumina from the sodium hydroxide, and this reaction, when we add sodium hydroxide to alumina, this reaction is done at 140 degrees Celsius to 150 degrees Celsius, and this is done for 2 to 8 hours. This is the reaction condition. Temperature is 140 to 150 and it is done for 2 to 8 hours. So we will filter it. When we will filter it, all the insoluble impurities which were not soluble in sodium hydroxide will remain on the filter paper, and filtrate will contain this sodium meta-aluminate, which is dissolved alumina in sodium hydroxide. So we have removed all the insoluble impurities from bauxite, right, because this alumina goes into the filtrate. When we will filter it, the filtrate will contain this sodium meta-aluminate, right. So now we have filtrate. What we will do is, on filtration, insoluble impurities will get separate, and filtrate will contain sodium meta-aluminate, which is, this is nothing but, this is dissolved Al2O3 in sodium hydroxide, right. So this filtrate will contain sodium meta-aluminate. So now what we will do is, after this filtrate, we will dilute this filtrate. That is, we will add water to this filtrate and allow it to cool down to 50 degrees Celsius, because the reaction conditions above was 150 degrees Celsius temperature, which needs to lower down now. So now this filtrate, which is NaAlO2 sodium meta-aluminate, will be diluted with water. It will be diluted with water and allowed to cool down. Allowed to cool down to 50 degrees Celsius, right. When we will dilute sodium meta-aluminate, let's see what would be the product. NaAlO2 on dilution with water, 50 degrees Celsius, it will cool down. We will cool it down. It will form aluminium hydroxide, precipitate of aluminium hydroxide plus sodium hydroxide, right. So this sodium hydroxide can be recycled and again used to separate alumina from bauxite. So this is precipitate. Now this precipitate is separated, right. We will filter it again. On the filter paper you will get the aluminium hydroxide, which is a precipitate. This is washed. We need to clean this precipitate before we process it further. So we wash it and dry it, right? And then this precipitate, after washing and drying, after cleaning it, we will heat it to 1000 degrees Celsius, where after heating it we will get what we were trying to get through Beer's process is aluminium oxide, right? So when aluminium hydroxide is heated at 1000 degrees Celsius, it will form Al2O3, right, plus water. So this is what we need through Beer's process. So Beer's process is completed till here, till this point. Right, now there is one thing that we need to consider. Since we have now this aluminium oxide, since this is an oxide, and now we need aluminium from this oxide, right? So commonly what we do to get metal from metallic oxides, commonly we use reducing agents like carbon monoxide and hydrogen, right? But since this oxide, this aluminium oxide, this oxide is of reactive metal, right? And we know that oxides of reactive metals cannot be reduced using common reducing agents like carbon monoxide and hydrogen, right? Because they have very high affinity for oxygen. This oxygen is so strongly bound to aluminium that it cannot be removed, right? This oxygen cannot be removed using common reducing agents, right? So what we do is we employ electricity, right, to remove this. We employ electricity to reduce this oxide, that is to remove oxygen from this oxide. Once we remove oxygen, we will get aluminium, right? So since after this Beer's process we get alumina, now this alumina needs to be reduced to get aluminium, right? This alumina needs to be reduced to get aluminium. So but since Al2O3 is extremely stable due to high affinity for oxygen, right? So common reducing agents cannot be employed, cannot be used here, like carbon monoxide and hydrogen cannot be used to reduce aluminium oxide, alumina, right? So what we do is we use electricity, right, to reduce aluminium oxide, right? Since we are using electricity to reduce aluminium oxide, we call it as electrolytic reduction of alumina, right? So what we do is we use electricity to reduce Al2O3, right? We use electricity to reduce this, so this is known as electrolytic reduction of alumina, right? Now we will see how we will do electrolytic reduction of alumina. Now we get the reason why we cannot reduce, since this is a metallic oxide, why we cannot reduce it using common reducing agent, because it is a stable oxide and it has a very high affinity for oxygen, due to which we cannot use these reducing agents, so we use electrolytic reduction of alumina, right? So I'll just rub this, you can take down these notes, right? So in electrolytic, this is the diagram that we have for electrolytic reduction of alumina, right? So in electrolytic reduction of alumina, we do electrolysis of alumina in molten state, right? So what we are doing it now, electrolytic reduction of alumina. This is also known as Hall-Héroult process, right? Since there is a contribution of scientist named Hall, let's see, we'll see in a moment what is his contribution. He has a big contribution in the making of aluminium, right? Now, if you remember, we have done this in electrolysis, that these reactive metals, the oxides or halides, that is bromides, chlorides of reactive metals, cannot be electrolyzed in aqueous state. They needs to be electrolyzed in molten state. Right? For example, potassium oxide, calcium oxide, or potassium chloride, calcium chloride, magnesium chloride, these cannot be reduced in aqueous state. Rather they are electrolyzed. They cannot be electrolyzed in aqueous state. They are electrolyzed in molten state. Why in molten state? Why not in aqueous state? Because we know that in aqueous state we will take this salt. For example, if we take aluminium oxide, we take aluminium oxide and add water to it to make aqueous solution. And if we pass electric current through this aqueous solution of alumina in water, let's see what will happen. Aluminium oxide will break to give you aluminium and oxygen, aluminium ion and oxide ion, right? Similarly, water will also give you hydrogen ion and hydroxyl ion. And what we are trying to achieve in this electrolysis, we want aluminium, right? Aluminium is a positive ion. It will be obtained at cathode, right? Since now in solution we have hydrogen ions as well, so when electricity is passed through aqueous solution of aluminium oxide, what happens is this aluminium Al plus 3 and hydrogen, right? These two are cations. These two will move to cathode, right? But one of them will react at cathode, that is undergo reduction at cathode, right? And which one will undergo reduction? We'll look at electrochemical series. The one which is below will undergo reduction and form product. So out of these two, hydrogen is below in electrochemical series. So instead of aluminium, hydrogen will react at cathode and form hydrogen gas, right? So what you will get is hydrogen, right? So two hydrogen will combine to form hydrogen gas, right? So instead of aluminium, we get hydrogen gas at cathode. So the purpose is defeated. We are doing electrolysis to get aluminium, or in case of potassium, calcium or magnesium. But in all these cases we will get hydrogen, because hydrogen is below all these elements in electrochemical series. Hydrogen ion is below. So hydrogen ion would be obtained in all these cases. So instead of aqueous solution, what we will do is, instead of aqueous solution, we always take molten salts. These oxides and these chlorides, bromides, all these of these reactive metals are done in electrolysis of these oxides or halides of these active metals are done in molten state, not in aqueous state. Because in molten state we have no hydrogen ions. So no hydrogen ions means no hydrogen gas. So we will obtain metal at cathode, right? So let's quickly see. So we will take what in electrolytic reduction of alumina, we will do electrolysis of molten alumina, which is molten aluminium oxide, Al2O3, right? Now we have already done electrolysis of molten salt in our previous chapter, which is electrolysis. We did electrolysis of lead bromide, so it would be similar. But in aluminium oxide, in case of alumina, we know that when we did electrolysis of lead bromide, the fusion temperature or the molten melting point of lead bromide was around 380 degrees Celsius, if I recall it correctly. At that temperature, and that temperature needs to be maintained during the entire process of electrolysis so as to maintain lead bromide in molten state. Similarly, melting point of Al2O3 is 2050 degrees Celsius, right? So when we will do electrolysis of molten alumina, we need to maintain temperature at 2050 degrees Celsius using electrical heating. But we need to consider one thing. There was an issue when we do electrolysis of molten alumina at 2050 degrees Celsius. At 2050 degrees Celsius, when aluminium is formed at cathode, right, from this alumina, at this temperature, that aluminium is in vapor state. Because of very high temperature, which is 2050 degrees Celsius, the aluminium which would be obtained at cathode would be in vaporized state, right? So it is very difficult to obtain aluminium in vapor state, right? So this was the challenge in the electrolysis of fused alumina or molten alumina, right? So what the scientist Hall did, so let me first write this down. At 2000 right, so aluminium obtained at 2050 degrees Celsius will vaporize and difficult to obtain, right? This is very important, right? So what the scientist called Hall did, Hall in the fused alumina, in fused aluminium oxide, Hall added a compound. Rather, he added two compounds, right? So Hall added cryolite, right? Cryolite, which is also an ore of aluminium. He added cryolite in molten aluminium. What cryolite did, cryolite lowered the melting point or fusion temperature of alumina from 2050 degrees Celsius to 950 degrees Celsius. And at that temperature, aluminium was easily obtained because aluminium is not in vapor state at 950 degrees Celsius. So this was a big achievement of Hall in aluminium industry, because before this, aluminium was a rare metal, rarely found, and aluminium was even costlier than gold, right? So this contribution of Hall, which he invented by adding cryolite to molten aluminium, which lowered the fusion temperature of alumina from 2050 to 950 degrees Celsius. This was an achievement, and because of this, now we can easily see the objects of aluminium around us. We can easily see aluminium objects